Okay, this is going to be part 2 of my Monday, July 26th video journal. I was talking about the mud and how I fell in the mud and was really covered in it, and reflecting on the fact that I was like, I don't like the mud, I don't like getting dirty, stuff like that. And so anyway, as I walking through the mud, trying to find my phone, and I'm realizing, I'm just like, this mud is nice. Like, it feels good on my feet. And it's funny because there was a show that I watched, I think it was called Suits, and it was a show that Meghan Markle was in for a long time, but there was a character in it, and I can't remember what this guy's name was, but his big thing is he liked to go mudding, where he would go get in a mud bath, and he really enjoyed it. And so ever since I've watched that, I was just like, you made it look so good. I'm just like, I think I want to go mudding. I'm like, is that a real thing, or was that just something that he was doing? But I've never known where you can go get a mud bath. And so yesterday I was like, okay, I had a mud bath. I literally fell in a huge puddle of mud and got completely covered in this mud. And it actually felt very good on my body. And so I was like, okay, well, I wanted to go mudding, and it wasn't exactly the mudding experience that I had envisioned, but it was still, an experience. And so I appreciated it. Um, so yeah, so I'm just noting that I was not, even though that could have been a very bad situation that I was in, where this ATV rolled through me and then rolled over, and I landed in the mud. It was just, I landed in the mud. I took a mud bath. I was able to get up, and I wasn't hurting too bad. Well, I wasn't hurting. Later on, I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure my arm is hurting a little bit. My hip is hurting a little bit. And once I got washed off and everything, I noticed that clearly there were some bugs in that mud, because I had, this part of my face was completely red and raised, and all right here, this whole side of my face was red and just raised, but it wasn't like a bruising or anything. It was like, no, something touched me that my skin didn't like. And it was the same on my arms, and because I had a sleeveless shirt on, so kind of like the same style as what I'm wearing, but so I had red marks all on my chest. I had both of my arms, from here down to my hands, I had all these red bumps and everything on it. And luckily, when I got to my bag, I had some cream that was for rashes and itchiness, like allergy type stuff. So I put that all over me. So it never, although it was raised and everything, it wasn't itchy or unpleasant. It was kind of unpleasant to look at. But that was about it. So I was very thankful yesterday and very fortunate. And, as I wake up this morning and I go through my routine of, saying my prayers and reading the Bible, before I did this video journal, well, I'm reading, I don't know if I was on Mark chapter 4. I try to read a different chapter of the Bible, one chapter at a time. So I know I'm in the book of Mark, and I think it was Mark 4. And it was talking about there was a man that was, possessed, I guess, by evil spirits for a really long time. And, he sent the spirits out of this man and into a herd of pigs, and the pigs, jumped off a cliff after that. And so the man was healed and wanted to go with Jesus, and Jesus is like, no, you go back to your home and go back to your family and your people, and you tell them, that the Lord has had mercy on you. And I read that and I thought of this song that, it says, your grace and mercy brought me through. I'm living this moment because of you. And as I read that and I reflected on it in that song, that's what I thought. I was just like, you know what? God bestows so much grace and mercy on me, and he definitely bestowed grace and mercy on me yesterday, right? Because that could have been an ugly situation. And, I can reflect back on, there was another time, about a year ago, that, I like to ride, and I often go for long bike rides. And I was starting out on a ride, and I was at my parents' house. My parents' house live up on this hill, and their driveway is pretty steep. And I was riding down the driveway, and I don't know what I did, but because it's so steep, I don't want to go down super fast, but I had my hands kind of on the brake because I try to go slow down there, and you have to balance out the brakes because there's a brake for the front wheel and the back wheel. And, if you push one too far, you might flip. So I think I hit that brake too hard on the front and not the back or something. And man, I got to the bottom of this hill and that bike flipped over me. And just like the ATV, where it just completely went over my head. So the bike didn't hit me, but I got up, from that situation, and I was like, okay, that was an ugly fall, but I'm alive. And I got right back up and went on a 25-mile ride after it. When I got home, later, I realized that I threw my pelvis out of whack, and I was bruised, I had scrapes on me and everything. It was all bruised up, but I was okay. And these are just like examples of situations that show me, you don't have to be afraid of things. And